James Wan just took me on this really funky trip through this
I love
movie.
it.
It's just a boo factory. And I love certain movies that are just, for lack of a better word, like a jump scare city. And it felt like that. It just felt like a funhouse movie that was well shot. Also, I mean, I like that we had these two main characters, Julia Richings and Sheila McCarthy. They're such different leads for these movies. You don't really see leads like this anymore. And then Constantina Mantelos. I thought she was really good too as Becker, and I like the kid Ian, played by Josh Cruddas, and how that went. It just,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's enough to it that I thought it was crisp. I thought it was clean looking. And I just like the pompousness. These couple think they can summon this 1,000-year-old deity without consequences, and they're just so dumb, and they're just walking around. It made me laugh, the entitlement and all that. And then when the jump scares happen, sometimes I love that. Sometimes I just want a jump scare, and they wrote scenes around jump scares, and that just made me happy. So that's why I picked
Yeah.
it.
I mean, honestly, Mark, I think, like I did tell Corey, I just think, I wasn't in the mood for it because, like, you thought it was funny, where I was just annoyed with these two, like, white entitled old people that's doing this, like, and the jump scares weren't scary for me. It's funny that you say it felt like jump scares for you because it didn't feel like jump scares for me. It just felt more like, there's ghosts walking around in the house, like. So it just didn't do it for me. But like I say, I did think that maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it. Like I do, it's a movie that, I'll probably watch again to see if I still feel the same about it. Cause I think maybe I was just in a mood that day and like didn't want to see more entitled people cause it's enough of them anyways, like that you see every day. But yeah, the old people were good. They were like, the actors were good. The acting in general, I would definitely like props for that. But yeah, story wise, it just didn't really, do it for me. But like I said, I think I was just maybe in a mood, not in the mood,
No,
I'm glad you guys, because that's the thing, everyone loves this movie. So I'm like, I don't get it.
but it's good though, right? It makes for a good conversation. And
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised. On IMDb, it's 6.5, Rotten Tomatoes 98%, Letterboxd 3.5. So it's overall pretty solid. People like this film. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. But I could see if you're in if you're not, I don't know what it was for me. I just had a bowl of popcorn and I was just ready to have some jump scares. I thought, you know what else too was pleasant for me is, I watched this movie without watching a trailer. I just heard Johnny Num talking about it and how much he loved it, and I really trust his opinion. So, Megan, this was a Megan's top 5 list too of the year, and we were just like, okay, let's just sit down and watch this. And I was expecting a dark, I don't know, like it was a Shudder original, so I was just maybe expecting something really dark and exorcism and all this. And what I got was something much cheekier and. I don't know. At first, I was rolled with it. It's weird. I put on my skates and rolled with it. It was interesting. I'd fall if I tried to skate with it, but it's in and out too. It's an hour 37 minutes.
It is, yeah.
And also, I really liked some of the shots. I think it did it's like, I don't think this movie had much time. And so there are certain shots in this film that I really liked. I thought they were framed like just it felt nice and clean and crisp, and I don't know, it was quite thrilling cinematography as far as just shooting in a house and as far as the budget was concerned. So
yeah, the cinematography in general was really good. Like, yeah, it was. I think it was, just like the angle of it all just immediately put me off. I think that was the problem with me personally watching it, because I also went in blind. I had no idea what this was about. And I think, when it was like, okay, they're part of like these Satanists now. And I think it was also just like kind of eye roll, because people think they know what like that is and they don't really. And it actually can come off as exploitive sometimes. And I don't know. I was kind of in that mood, when I watched it. So I was like, eye roll.
It seems like these two would exploit it, right? These two would. They didn't really care about any of that. So they just probably found something online and exploited
Like you
it.
say, that entitlement
Yeah.
of, yeah,
There's a
it's
1,000-year-old
what,
book. If you said, "Hey Mark, I got a 1,000-year-old book and I'm gonna cast some spells tonight," I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to another country. Like, don't call me. Like, just like you can hang out with this 1,000-year-old book and cast spells. I'm nowhere near it." And I think there's a hubris of just thinking, "Oh, it'll be fine. I'm going around raising animals from the dead outside with my book, a 1,000-year-old book in the rain, touching it with my hands. It's
yeah.
rubbing oils on it. They'll probably hurt it." And it's just, and you know what's interesting? In Evil Dead, these movies are like, "Oh, I'm just going to read from it. It'll be fun." They get drawn into it, that old trope. But in this one, they willingly, like a bunch of idiots, they don't even think about
Yeah.
it. They treat everything as very designer, like their Satanism, for lack of a better word, or uh, it's just an interesting take on that. And I'm sure that yeah, you're right about the exploitative nature of it, but I think these two would have exploited anything to get what they wanted.
Totally.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I
I just
wonder if they actually played around with that, like if I would have liked it more. But at the same time, I think I just like maybe I took it too seriously from the get-go because like I say, they just like immediately annoyed me. Like I didn't care for them. I was
yeah.
like, oh, they're terrible. Like go away.
And I liked how cavalier they were with it too, though. They just had no reservations, and
Yeah.
that made me laugh. And also, I don't know why, but just the reactions from Constantina as Becker, I thought she had the funniest reactions in this.
Mm.
Just her kind of pained or confused, and I don't know. It was weird. Very, very rarely do characters pop on screen that you just go, "I like them," and for some reason, I'm like, "I like her. I hope she's all right." And it just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that was kind of my reaction. And then the whole bit with Ian, I thought was quite interesting. And it just,
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I want a haunted house movie. Sometimes I want a jump scare, and I want
Yeah.
cats jumping off of trash cans and stuff like that. So I think that's why it worked for me.
See, that wasn't scary for me, but like devil stuff isn't scary for me.
Mm.
That's the other thing too. I'm not really a ghost devil scares me thing. Like, so I think that's the other thing too. But I'm definitely gonna watch it again sometime
Like, you know when you're on a
because
roller coaster, you know where you're going, but you still get that thrill? That was for me, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like, you know you're going to go
yeah,
up a roundabout, around a loop-de-loop, because you see it, but you're just still going, yeah! That was it for me. Like, I knew scares, like, I knew jump was going to come, and I was bracing for it, and I had fun. But you're right,
yeah.
I think moods come into play, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the first time you watch Relic, and like, I mean, this happens to us. Like, sometimes you're just not in a mood, and you're not really like into the movie, and then like down the line you watch it again, and you're like, oh wow, this is actually so cool. It happens. It happens all the time.
hmm And also, sometimes for me, as I hear all these hyperbole about movies, and I'm like, it's not that good. And I'm not saying you did that. That's affected me a couple times this year, too. So I need to maybe
Yeah,
revisit a couple more movies that had tons of
yeah.
praise heaped on them. But, like,
But I love it because that's why we talk about it. Like,
mhm.
it's different perspectives, and it's cool.
But yeah, so anything for Jackson's my final one. So you ended up with, oh man, some good Hunter x Hunter, Swallow, The Rental, Color of Space, Dark and the Wicked, and Relic. What a good selection.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I had the Wolf of Snow Hollow, Get Duped, Hashtag Alive, I hate it. Come to Daddy, Vampires vs. the Bronx, and Anything for Jackson.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
love it. You've got a funky list. I love it. I love
no,
it.
I think we covered some of the best films this year. I really do, and I'm happy with all this. We did. This is good.
Yeah, look, there's, I mean, still so many you can talk about, like,
Yeah,
and then again, everyone has, you know, that like favorites. Host did very well this year. People loved Host. They were like, yeah, oh, so many movies.
that movie
But
lost
yeah,
me, Zanandi, when it's just when they're messing
yeah, we
around in the
talked about
beginning
it.
based on the lie. It's like, oh, I was just joking around. It's like,
Yeah, like,
then you just don't like any
yeah,
of them. You just, and I listen. The idea is brilliant to shoot that in a pandemic, and there's some really
yes,
neat scares that
yes.
they create. But a lot of times these movies just whiff with me when it's just, haha, we're messing around. Oh, what? So I don't know. I guess she
The
was
problem,
joking. No, I don't
yeah,
know.
you know, the problem I have with these movies is like, it feels like it can't really go anywhere. Like they all have the same problem. You end up like just like a series of jump scares and then cool, everyone dies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but yeah, like I don't want to diss it. I also think like good for them. They filmed it like in 3 months in the pandemic. It just hits. Some of the girls were great.
Oh yeah.
Must say that was a little like thingy problem that I also look at the bunch of girls being all hysterical. It kind of like scratched me a bit. I don't really like that angle, but whatever. But yeah, like it did well.
I
and
might
people
fly
enjoyed
around a
it.
little bit though if there's a ghost. I'd be yelling.
Look, listen, if I see someone getting sucked up into the roof or like the attic or whatever, then yeah, but I'm out of there then. Like
Yeah.
I am out of there. I don't like people who go look or people who sit around and like, I'm like, no, I'm gonna be out of there. I'm probably gonna freeze for like a minute and then I'm gonna run.
Yeah. I mean, here's the deal. If a chair in your house moves 7 feet, it's not the wind. It's get the heck out of there because something's trying to get your attention. Just run.
100%.
Yeah.
Just like get out. Like
Mm-hmm.
pandemic or no pandemic, like run into the street. I would run into the middle of the street and just like be there at least and not in the room.
Exactly. But yes, but it was a success and people love it. It's on a lot of lists and people dug it. So I think it was good though because not much new content was coming out, and then they had this new horror film to watch. So
Exactly.
I mean, I think sometimes, like you said, like Underwater, it's about timing, and it's about when it was released. So
Yeah.
well, this was good.
I know this was perfect. Yeah. Release date. Yeah.
this is good. I'm happy. We picked some good ones
Yeah.
here.
I think we talked about some good 2020 horrors, and let's hope this year has, some good stuff for us. I'm sure it will.
We got Candyman coming, Quiet Place 2, right?
I was just about to say. Hope we can get Candyman at last.
Oh, that'd be good. I hope they're saying it's like a spiritual sequel to it. That'd be really interesting to see.
Yes.
I'm excited. All right. Well, thank you. Oh, do you want to plug your Twitter? Like, where you at on Twitter? How can people read your stuff?
I don't really do the plugging, right?
Oh, well, all right. So
I'm
you
on
can
Twitter, @Sanandi.
Yeah.
There we go.
And I'll include it in the post too, so you can
Thanks,
go check it out.
Mark.
Yeah.
Thank
Go read her stuff on Cracked. She puts out Zanandi puts out a ton of stuff on Cracked, and then has funny tweets and cat pictures. So
And cat pictures, yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. That's all good. But no, thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Mark. It's been fun.
So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Zanandi Botes, this is Movies on the Flicks. We'll see you next week.